So, hey, I want to talk about Prismatic Evolutions' effect on the Pokemon market. I mean, this set came out right after, it was on the heels of Surging Sparks. I know there was a couple sets there, but as soon as Prismatic Evolutions was announced, Pokemon hysteria went crazy. People were getting so fanatical about going and buying those boxes. And at some point, they realized they couldn't get these boxes. They couldn't get stuff. We see all these videos of people in line fighting, all kinds of stuff. Now there's videos of people just literally camping out. Again, I mean, it's insane, that kind of stuff. I just seen a video today where a bunch of people literally just running to the GameStop, and then the line got massive, just major. I think what it was is they probably weren't allowing people to camp out overnight, but as soon as it was time that they could start getting in line, the whole parking lot just started flooding, and the guy that was recording, he decided to just stop. Like, I'm not even going to even try. He's like, well, I guess not getting none of that today. And it's like, I myself would rather, if I really had to have the stuff, I would rather just pay the eBay prices. I don't care. I'm not going to waste my time camping out overnight. We were seeing so many videos, and there's so many people that are not real, like Pokemon people and stuff like that. People look at me and probably wouldn't think I am, but I'm a collectibles guy, whether it's sports cards, comics. I don't collect Pokemon. I buy and sell, trade, do all that kind of stuff. But my son has a major Pokemon collection, and that's what that was his thing. He got me into it. I've learned a lot about Pokemon because I know how to play the game because of my son teaching him how to play. When he was little, he really wanted to learn, and so I taught him. Now he's cutthroat. I can't even play against him in Pokemon. So I got to start taking him to some of the leagues, but most of them are kind of far from where I'm at. The place down the street is a card, comics, and all that kind of stuff, and they do most of their league stuff is for Magic the Gathering and that one game that looks kind of like, I don't know, like some battle game where they got like little metal painted toys and stuff like that, little figures, you know what I mean? But besides that, like for me, I was able to get product for the last 2.5, 3 years easily. It was easy. I can order it from places. I was buying from places that was like that would sell so much. They would get free shipping over a certain amount. Everything was below MSRP, and I sat on the stuff. I always bought it. I sat on the stuff, but at a certain point, I mean, like, everything just went nuts. People got so fanatical about this stuff. Scarlet and Violet boxes that I was getting for $77 and selling for I had to hold on to them. And I got them for like $77, and I had to wait till they got to like 110 just to sell them to make a small margin. And it is insane now, but I sold that stuff to buy other stuff, buy more singles, buy more sealed products. I was getting 151 poster collections under MSRP. I was getting the booster bundles, 151 booster bundles, right at or just below MSRP, and then even sometimes I would get them above MSRP from vendors and stuff like that, and still make money if I just hold on to it just a little bit. I didn't even have to hold on to those for like a couple months. Would already make $20-$30 on each one. The margins, again, that's not big. You have to turn over a lot of stuff for those margins to actually be kind of big, but now, like, all my booster bundles, 151 booster bundles, all gone. All my Alakazam boxes, all gone. For a minute there, when everything started spiking and everyone kept posting all these videos, all of a sudden my store was like not selling anything. I would sell 2-3 products a day here and there, but all of a sudden it just stopped. I think everybody was considering anyone who was selling anything not at MSRP a scalper, and people were listening to that, and they're just kind of, before, I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, and I would be able to post so much stuff without getting any hate, because the people that were in it, that been in it, and were able to buy stuff for cheap, those are like the people that were in it for the long haul. They didn't give a damn. They really didn't care. But soon as all this Prismatic and Surging Sparks like hype and stuff got crazy back in that was in November, people were starting getting real ugly in the comments, and still to this day. I mean, I literally stopped any of the Facebook groups that I was in. I barely post any more Pokemon videos, so this is like my first one in a minute here, because it's just like people get so ugly about it and stuff like that. And you see the kind of people that are out there, you know, the people that are at the vending machines fighting with the store the clerks of the store were telling them that they aren't allowed to use multiple credit cards on those machines. My machine over here at the Safeway by my house, a lot of times it's out. It's not just, it's like offline, go shopping at PokemonCenter.com, kind of stuff like that. And it's insane what kind of fanatical issues that have come out because of how popular Prismatic Evolutions was. And like now we're seeing a lot of correction, a lot of cards have dropped in price. Sealed products are doing pretty well. Like I said, my Alakazam boxes, my 151 booster bundles, most of my posters are gone. Like I said, I only have 4 left. All this stuff sold. All my Paldean Fates sold. I had Pokemon Center ETBs, the regular ETBs, booster bundles, all sold. I mean, but like I said, for a minute there, nothing was selling. It took a minute, and then all of a sudden, I wake up one morning and half of my stuff is gone. I'm like, holy. So people kind of switched from those expensive cards to all the sealed stuff. And sealed investors, they're part to blame for some of the craziness for the sealed product prices as well, because they go buy up stuff. And and the stuff is out there at retail for anyone to buy anyway, so it doesn't matter. I mean, I know a lot of people look down upon the investor bros, or look down upon the quick flip scalper guys and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I get it. I understand. For me, I was never a quick flip scalper. I would get my stuff below MSRP, couldn't sell it for MSRP, and if I did, I would lose money, and so I had to wait. And stuff like that. But like some of this stuff here, we're looking at the Lily's Clefairy here. This thing is down 50% from when it came out. 50%. People were over there buying it for like $326, and now it's all the way down to $158, 161 or something like that. It's crazy. It's like less than half. I mean, it's like 50% down. Insane. The Umbreon, the big Umbreon from Prismatic Evolutions, the one that everyone was chasing. I'm still dumbfounded that people were paying $1,600 for this card. On the highest this card hit was $1,606. People were playing over $1,600, but on the 3-month chart here, it's down 21%. 21% is down to $1,200. To me, this is like, I don't even know how to even call this a $500 card would be insane. It would be insane. There's cards that are so much older, that were harder to hit, because apparently this card's not as hard to hit, that are still cheaper than this card at $1,248. I mean, Jesus. I in being a responsible person with my money, I would never buy that card. I don't know who's buying that card, why people are buying that card. If you're one of those people that think you're going to pay $1,200, get a PSA 10 and flip it for $2,500 or $2,000, whatever it is, more power to you. But man, it's just, I don't know who's buying those cards at that price. I wouldn't. The card is too new. You never know. In 2 years from now, that could be a $600 card, and you could pay $1,200 now thinking you got a good deal because it used to be $1,600. Insane. Let's move on to the Surging Sparks Pikachu. Like I said, this card here did hit highs of almost 500. Came out the gate pretty high and kind of went almost up to 500. Like that 500 was like a pressure point of now nobody wanted to pay over 500. But man, this card is now down like 36% on the last 3 months. 287. People are losing money on every card. There's no major card that's up. Actually, on my list here, there is one that is up that I'm gonna go over in a minute here. But yeah, Surging Sparks Pikachu down, quite a bit of money right there, man. This is insane. Then we move on to the next set here. Stellar Crown, the Squirtle has become the major card, not Terapagos. And this guy here in the last 3 months is down 15.56%. I mean, if you go to its high, it's down 17%, because it did go up from the beginning of 3 months ago and down. Because this last 3 months is where we're seeing the biggest slide for all these cards. I mean, like I said, Prismatic Evolutions came out in January, and people were so hysterical about it, so fanatical about trying to get some boxes, open packs, whatever it is. There was so many stories going on with that. I mean, it's insane. There should never be like that for a collectible piece of cardboard. There should never be all these. The major videos on YouTube about this stuff is all the bad stuff, all the scammers, all the people stealing stuff, all the people fighting and in line and all this stuff. It's just insane. That's what everyone's looking. They like the drama. They like all that kind of stuff. But to me, it's just, it's driving the market, good or bad. Prismatic Evolutions has did a number on the Pokemon market, and it's affected a lot of things. It has affected people's brains, how they, you thought the full moon nights were bad, no, it was Prismatic Evolutions that has fried people's brains and twisted people around. It's insane. It's insane. I don't get it. But yeah, this card down 15%. That's one of the smaller drops, but at its high, it was, a $73 card. Now you can pick it up for $60. So now we're moving on to this is Shrouded Fable. Earthen Vessel has now reclaimed the top spot. I'm not even gonna look at the numbers for what is that? The Persian shot up into the 70s, and now I don't even know where it's at right now. Not gonna look at it. We're looking at Earthen Vessel as the number one card from Shrouded Fable, and it is down 15% as well. It did hit a high of $58, but now it's at 48, so it's about down $10 from its high. But it's a playable card. That's the only reason why it's probably expensive. It's going to end up being the cheaper than quite a few of the other cards. There's going to be a lot of cards that'll pass this one up, but for now, Earthen Vessel is number one card in Shrouded Fable. Insane, right? The Greninja, I don't have. So we got the Greninja. This is the Japanese one. The Japanese one also seen big gains too, but the Greninja, it's actually down 26%. If you go to its high, it's down 28, almost 29% in the last 3 months. Big slide, big correction. All that hype and all that hysteria from the Prismatic fallout it was major, big. If you bought during those times in January and beginning of February, soon as I think looks like the drops started near the end of February, third week of February or so. You've lost quite a bit of money, so I stopped buying any Pokemon singles for my son, except for low-end ones. I wasn't buying any of the big ones because I seen too much stuff dropping, so I was like, okay, so we'll just buy a bunch of the smaller $6 to $15 illustration rares, because if they lose half their value, that's like $7 or $5 here and there or whatever. But some of these cards are losing like $200 from $411 to $295. That's $112 or something like that. It's something crazy. It's just insane. We go to the Raging Bull from Temporal Forces. This card was sitting there hovering at $100. It did hit highs of about $106. Now you can get it for $81. $81, and it's still showing signs of a decline. So, like for me, I think the Raging Bull should be down there. I mean, the playable adds a little bit, but to me, I wouldn't play with this card. I would get the other one. But this should be like a $50 card. I mean, and it was sitting around $100 for the longest time, and people were buying it at that price, and now they're losing 20-something bucks here. And I think it will go down into the 60s, possibly even 50. It should be down there with Roaring Moon and Raging Bolt. Not Raging Bolt, what's the other one? The one with the moon behind it, Iron Crown. There you go. It should be down there in the 50s. The Walking Wake. Those other ones should be down in the 30s and stuff. It's crazy what people are paying for some of this stuff. Then we got Bubble Mew here. Bubble Mew, I was lucky to buy this one for my son for $90. $90 in a PSA 9. And this guy hit some major numbers. It hit 421 back in January, the end of January, beginning of February. I mean, like right after Prismatic and all the crazy hype and hysteria. But now it's actually down 21%. It's down 21% on the last 3 months, but it's down a little bit more from its all-time high. Insane, man. But Bubble Mew to me is probably the most iconic card from this era. It's just so simple. It's fun artwork, all that stuff. Everyone loves a Bubble Mew. One of the most sought-after cards. At comic conventions, everyone always asking for Bubble Mews. Every card is popular, but the Bubble Mew is pretty up there. Again, though, down quite a bit. Right now it's probably $300. Could it go down more? I don't know. If you really want this card, it's hard to tell. Right now it's not even a good time to buy. Not a good time to buy. Wait till the summer's over, when people are back from their camping trips and vacations and back to the grind, and not thinking about what they're going to do over the summer, and maybe these cards will start picking up. So I can still see these cards either dropping a little or just staying flat for a little while. So almost a good time to buy. The Groudon right here. That's a Japanese. Hold on, I got Japanese one. Here's an English one right here. English Groudon right here. This card's down quite a bit. It highs of over $100, but in the last 3 months it's down 31%. 31% on that guy. One of my favorite cards, actually. Love this one. So again, man, you can get this one for $70, but could it get back down in the 60s? Probably. 50, maybe. It's crazy. Moving on to 151. We have the Charizard right here. Charizard from 151. Again, another card that I got for like $120 in a PSA 9. And now it's sitting at 193. So I've still got gains on that one. That's my son's. Like I said, I buy him all the stuff. I don't collect them. He's got gains on that card. But if anyone bought it at the high of like, the high was 260. Now it's down to 193. I mean, you lost $70, in a short amount of time. I mean, it's insane what's going on. And all this, to me, is the hype and hysteria that was caused by Prismatic Evolutions. I mean, you can't put any of that on even a new set Team Rocket. I know the stuff's going to be expensive, but I have a funny feeling that it's going to crash even harder than some of the, than Prismatic. It's insane. We got the 151 Charizard right here. And this one we actually pulled out of a pack, sent it in for grading, got a PSA 9. So again, I don't know what that cost us. A booster box at the time was $105, $95, whatever it was to pull that card out of a booster box. But it's down 18%. I mean, I hit a high of about $75 almost in that end of January, beginning of February kind of time. But now it's down to $58. Still a pretty inexpensive card. Wouldn't have lost too much on that one, just under $20 or something like that. So it's a good card to get right now. I mean, I like that Charizard a lot. That was like the beginning of the major chases for the Scarlet and Violet era, was the Obsidian Flames Charizard. At the time, the Paldea evolved Magikarp wasn't the big chase at that time. I mean, literally it was the Iono and then that Charizard right there. All right, moving on to, speaking of Magikarp, oh yeah, got a couple Japanese ones still on my store and an English one in the store. These are from the store inventory here. But yeah, Magikarp here, let's hold that guy up there. Beautiful card. This is my favorite card of the whole era. My son has a really nice copy. So this second copy here is in the store. It's available, but I'm not going to be selling it for what the numbers are now. I'm going to hold off and see if I can get a rebound on that after the summer. So, but Magikarp down 22% from, that's down from the 246 it was at. It did do a sharp jump up to 278, and so if it's down 22 plus 13, so it's down literally $35 from its high after the prismatic jump. So again, another card that, just keep your eye on this, sitting at 190. It's showing a rebound right now on the chart, but that could be just like a couple sales doing that, and then it could continue to go down or flatline for throughout the summer here. Let's move on to the Gardevoir. We have Gardevoir right here. Cool card. I love this one right here. This is my son's copy. The one on my store actually sold in the last couple weeks, so that one's gone. So the Gardevoir here is down 18% from its high of about $55 down to $45. So it's lost $10. $10, not a big deal. It's not like those heavy hitters where you're losing 15% and it's like $150. It's insane with some of those big cards. But all right, so that is the end of the Scarlet and Violet era. We move on to Crown Zenith. We have the Gold Giratina, #1 card from Crown Zenith. This is another Gem Mint 9 that I got for my son in that $90 range before it started to spike last year. And this card here, Raw, is down 20%. Down 20%. It was sitting up at 212, now it's down to 171. It's showing a flat chart. That doesn't mean that it's still not dropping, but the chart looks fairly flat right now. So, all right, moving on to the Lugia from Silver Tempest. Another card, paid for like $130 for this card before it shot up all crazy. It is now sitting at 271, but it did hit a high of 304. It hit a high of 304, so it's down 8.61% from its the beginning of the 3-month chart, but it's down almost 11% from its high of 304 down. But that's one of the these ones. It doesn't seem like, it seems like the Sword and Shield stuff hasn't had as stiff of a correction. Don't know if that's still coming or if it's just because it's older and those booster boxes are starting to go really insane, really crazy. But yeah, now we're moving on to Lost Origin. That is the Giratina. My favorite card from that era. Magic card from Scarlet and Violet. Giratina from Sword and Shield. Very, very, very nice card. Shinji Kanda artwork. This one had a major correction as well. It is down 22%. It hit a high of $709, almost at that 710 mark, but now it's down to 542. 542. That's like $160 or $260 drop. Was that 260? Yeah, $160, almost 200. $160 drop. I mean, I know 22% doesn't sound crazy, but $160, $170 drop. That's insane. Insane. All right. Moving on to the Machamp. I do not have a Machamp. It's like one of my least favorite alt art big boys from the Sword and Shield era. It's kind of like take it or leave it kind of thing. At a good deal, yeah, I'd grab it, but there hasn't been any good deals on these. But this guy's down only 7.3% from its high. On the 3-month though, it is down 15%. 15% on the 3-month. Like I said, not much going on there with that guy. Charizard. We have the Brilliant Stars Charizard. For some reason, this guy just never catches on and goes wild. It does its ups and downs, less than like say the Lugia or that Giratina. But this guy here is down 0.72% on the month, 0.72. But from its all-time high, it's down 7%. 7% from its all-time high in April. This one took a lot longer to get to its height, and then it just crashed right after that. Crazy. Next, we're looking at the here we go. The Charizard from Celebrations, and like I said, these are the ones that we pulled 2 of these out of the ETBs, and both of them got Gem Mint 10s. This card here is actually up 14% on the 3-month, but it did climb up to 106 at one point. So it was up 21%, and then now it's back to 14. So it's actually only up 7% on the 3-month chart. So one that's kind of bucking the trend, up 7% on the 3-month chart. These in the last couple days, PSA 10s have been selling anywhere from $230 to $255 with shipping. So looks like these ones are starting to move a little bit. It's taken a long time for this card to move, but again, it is another reprint of base set Charizard. So hey, it is what it is. And then we move on to the Gengar from Fusion Strike. The Gengar from Fusion Strike is down 20.18%. Its high was 724. Actually, if you go on the 6-month chart, the high was actually 744. $744. That is insane that card got that high. But now on the 3-month chart, it's down 20%, all the way down to 576. So at 576, it's actually just like $30 more than the Lugia from Lost Origin, and I still think the Lugia should be the number 2 card from this whole era. But there's a couple cards that passed it. All right, moving on to the big boy, the Moonbreon. Moonbreon is down 11.04% from its on the 3-month chart, and it hit highs of 1754. Now it's down to 1560, so almost a $200 drop, pretty close to $200, $195 drop. Like I said, it's never buy when the things are hyped, because you're going to lose money. In the long run, yeah, this card will probably continue to climb, but you never know. I mean, maybe you can't afford to keep something for a long time. If something happens, sometimes you gotta liquidate, and it happens. It does happen. It happens to a lot of people. And just right now in the comic book industry, I'm buying 9.8s at their lowest that they've been. I've got a couple. I got another 9.8 of a key 1980, or actually early 1990, 91, 92. I think it was 91. A key comic from that time that during the COVID hype was selling for like $1,600, $1,600, and now you can get it for like under 400. It's crazy. So you don't buy during the hype. Never buy during the hype. I didn't buy any collectibles during COVID because I seen how crazy everything was doing. Literally put a pause on Pokemon for my son, and he was cool with that. I paused on my sneakers a little bit, because you still got to wear shoes. But still, and then the sports cards. I wasn't buying sports cards. Bought no comics during that stuff. Plus, you're getting all this money from the government, stimuluses and stuff, and people decided that was like free money, and to me it wasn't. I had to pay bills, I still had to do all that kind of stuff, but hey, it is what it is. Don't buy during the hype. Do not buy during the hype. Two of my favorite cards from Evolving Skies are the other Umbreon, which I think is a better artwork, and the Rayquaza, beautiful, but we're not going to look at the prices on those. Those are up at all-time highs, but they did have a little bit of correction as well. Both of these cards I got under $100. I think this one paid 70, 75, 76, and this one like $60. Now this one's like 270. It's gone up like 200 since I bought it, and this one definitely almost $200 since I got it. It's crazy, but I bought them at the low. Don't buy at the high. When everything's all hyped, just let it die down. Let it die. You don't have to have that newest shiny thing, unless you're rich and you just got so much disposable income, just don't buy at the high. And then, well, let's look at the last thing I want to look at is the last of the, not the last of the alt art sets, but we're not going to look at battle styles right now. We're looking at the Blaziken. Blaziken VMAX is actually up 1.56% on the 3-month chart. It did hit highs of 389, and so it's so it's down 4% from that high. So it's up 1%, 1.56 from the 3-month low, but it is, it did climb, and now it's showing it has its decline right now. It's still going through its decline, sitting at 378.11. When it hit 389. So I think it just barely started dropping. So do not buy Blaziken. Do not buy this Blaziken right here. I know the Chilling Reign boxes have gone over $400, but don't buy this Blaziken right now because we could see a correction. I think that something weird happened, something crazy happened to cause Fusion Strike booster boxes to almost hit 800, and these ones to hit over 4. I think those will correct as well. I think the booster boxes will correct. Will they be as low as they were before it started going crazy? Probably not, but like I said, this stuff's getting old. I sold all my Sword and Shield booster boxes about a year ago, and I made nice gains, but if I held on to them for another year, but at that time I had some taxes to pay and I was going on a vacation. It was like, I could use that money, so that's what I did. All I got left is some Crown Zenith boxes left. Even all my Crown Zenith tins are gone. My Evolving Skies tins, those sold out. I had a couple of tins that had a pack of Evolving Skies. So sealed stuff, it moves a lot faster, than all this the singles. I got tons of singles sitting here, and they sell here and there every once in a while, but sealed stuff, it's king because you've got investors, you got people wanting to open it, you got people who want to it's more like like me. I'm not a like that scalper who wants to buy something and flip it right away. Have I done that? Yeah. Most people that sell have bought something and had not held onto it for too long. I've done that with comics. Death of Captain America. I remember that back in the early 2005, whatever it was. Right away, I was selling those for $70 to $120 a piece that day, the same day I got them, and now it's a $20 book. $10 book maybe, but so yeah, I have done that before, yes. But for me with Pokemon, I like to grab the stuff at the lowest price I can get it at and just let it sit and marinate. I mean, I've said this before, beating the same drum right here, beating it. It's what I do is I like to let my stuff mature, So with the comics, I do have some comics on my website. I like to sell them more in lots. I just, the Ultimate Wolverine lot that I had just sold right now, so I'm gonna have to package that stuff up, ship it out. But I wait till like the end of the day just in case any more orders come in. But like I said, not to stray off topic too much, but Prismatic Evolutions did a number on the Pokemon market, on the Pokemon hobby. It's insane. Even a card that's now at $1,200, which is down from its $1,700, $1,600 price, I mean, is still insane. A card that's down like almost $400, and yet it's still $1,200. Please don't. In good faith, I can't ever tell you to go buy that card. There's quite a few cards I would tell you, just don't buy them. You don't have to have every card. I go buy, like for my son's collection, I buy all the cards he likes. I buy all the major hits if I can get them. If I can't, then, you go buy the Japanese. I'm not going to pay that price for the Greninja. The Japanese one here was fairly affordable at the time. Now it's not. But, I mean, it's like I said, be responsible with your money. One of the other things, Pokemon, if you buy at the right time, even if you're being irresponsible, you can make massive gains in just a matter of weeks, months, But if you're buying at the wrong time, you can lose massively as well, unless you hold for a long period of time. But yeah. All right, man, that's the end of this discussion. I just wanted to talk about what's going on in the market, a little bit longer of a video. Like for now, I can't even buy products. I can't get products. And I'm not buying any cards right now for my son. So, just be careful out there. What's going on with the market? All the crazy people fighting and all that kind of stuff. Stay out of the, if you have to go stand in line at GameStop or Best Buy, just be cautious of your surroundings, man. People are insane. You've actually got, there's thugs out there that actually jumped into the Pokemon because they see money, and the videos are insane, and they think they can push around the people because I think everyone that's in the market is nerds and geeks or pushovers and stuff like that. So just be careful. Be careful. Those people are out there, and they're predators, and they prey on, what they consider the weak. They'll pull up to a line and think they can just push their way right into the line. It's just there's a lot of bad people out there, people that just weren't brought up correctly and just don't know any better. And actually, they probably know better. They just want to get over on people. They want to, push their weight around, stuff like that. So just be careful out there what you guys are getting into. I mean, like I said, watch your back. Maybe don't go out there by yourself. If you have to stand in one of those lines, take a buddy with you. Find somebody, make friends with the people that are in line. So if some degenerate idiot comes over there and starts causing an issue, maybe you have a little backup and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's insane. But all right, man, I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay safe. Happy hunting. I'm out.